Uncanceled Comedy Collective presents Top Censored News of the Week. It's time for Top Censored News of the Week. We're bringing you guys the stories the mainstream media refuses to cover. If they do cover them, they always do it in a very dishonest or sloppy way, and it's always on purpose. So let's get to the first story of today. Number 3, Stop Anti-Semitism calls on Trump admin to investigate Miss Rachel for pushing Hamas propaganda to her 20 million plus followers. Miss Rachel, she might be up to something here. I wonder who's paying her, because we know that her show is about children and that's what her audience is, and being kind and happy and all that stuff, which kind of got her audience. So I'm sure that Hamas or somebody must be paying her to do this outrageous, horrible, terrorist propaganda that she's doing to all her followers. Well, I mean, like, we got to see an example of this. I'm sure there's like a really good example of some horrible thing she's doing that would get the Trump administration to conduct this investigation. Let's see what they came up with. Okay, let's see. There's Stop Anti-Semitism. They're calling on Attorney General Pam Bondi, to investigate if Miss Rachel is being funded by a foreign party to push anti-Israel propaganda to scoop public opinion. Since October 7th, Miss Rachel has transformed into an amplifier of Hamas propaganda, broadcasting to 20 million plus people. Well, this looks bad. I'm sure the thing she's doing it's got to be really bad. Okay, well, let's see. We had a TikToker cover this for us, so we're gonna get to the bottom of this. What horrible thing did Miss Rachel do? Here we go.
Stop Anti-Semitism is now going after the children's YouTuber, Miss Rachel, and accusing her of spreading Hamas propaganda. If you want to know what that pro-Hamas propaganda is, take a listen.
This is a prayer for children in Gaza. This is a prayer for children in Israel. This is a prayer for all the children. Please stop hurting them. This is a prayer for all the civilians. This is a prayer for all the hostages. This is a prayer for all the innocent. Please stop hurting them.
All right. Yeah, this feels really horrible. I can't believe she's saying don't hurt them, because that means she's saying don't hurt the terrorist children, because we know they're all terrorist children over there in Gaza. I'm getting really concerned about this. I hope she doesn't go further than that.
This is a prayer for all the leaders. This is a prayer for all in charge. This is a prayer for all the presidents. Please stop hurting them.
Being 100% serious right now, this is not even a joke. The director of Stop Anti-Semitism stated, given the vast sum of foreign funds that have been directed towards propagandizing our young people on college campuses, we suspect that there is a similar dynamic in the online influencer space. This is the funniest part about all of this. We urge you and your office to investigate whether or not Miss Rachel is being remunerated to disseminate Hamas-aligned propaganda to her millions of followers, as this may violate the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA. You know, the same Foreign Agents Registration Act that John F. Kennedy was trying to force AIPAC to register with, and they refused. Not to offend anybody, I don't mean to sound anti-Semitic, but I don't think it's a good idea to blow the brains out of little kids.
Oh, man. Well, look, maybe that wasn't so bad, but I'm sure they're hiding something. There's got to be something else that she's doing, like putting up Instagram posts that are probably just horrible and contaminated with Hamas propaganda. Let's see if we can find something really bad that she did here. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is awful. How cute is baby Scylla playing peekaboo? That's in Gaza. Wow. Oh no, you're not supposed to share babies in Gaza. That's Hamas propaganda. Oh man. Let's see if there's anything else she did. Oh no, another one. This is horrible. Talking about I'm so proud of my precious friend Rahaf and the life-saving work she's doing for children in Gaza. Oh, how dare she? How dare she? Because she's doing life-changing work, but you're doing it for a whole mess of 2 million terrorists. So this is clearly Hamas propaganda, and they really need to get her removed immediately. This is horrible. As you guys know, I am being facetious. This is a tragedy that anti-Semitism group can even consider putting this out to the Trump team. But what's even more horrible is that the Trump team will actually look at this and take this seriously. And that's the world we're living in right now, that we have an administration who's amplified the thing that the previous administration has already done and already set a precedent, that we do not tolerate anti-Semitism. So whatever we call it, it is. Wherever we point our fingers at, there it is. And that's how it's going to be. So we hope Miss Rachel can win this battle, and it doesn't go any further as far as canceling or terminating her, because she definitely has quite a following over there. So we definitely wish her luck on this battle. But man, there's a lot more of this going on all over the place. It's only going to get worse, unfortunately. Okay, let's get to the next story on Top Censored News. Coming in at number 2. 85 million person study finds increased risk of stroke, heart attack, coronary artery disease, and arrhythmia following the COVID-19 vaccination. Now, just to be clear, we're not reporting on this. We're just telling you that others are reporting on it. So let's look at this story a little closer and see what is being reported on here. Okay, 85 million person study. This is one of the biggest studies that's ever been conducted, because it's basically the entire world. They did this study all throughout different countries in Europe, in Asia, here in North America. I believe there were some countries also in South America as well. But this is a pool of 85 million people, and they saw an increase in all of these cardiovascular problems following the Jibbity jab. Looking a little closer, this was posted. This came out in the International Journal of Preventive Medicine. So this is legit stuff. This is the kind of thing that you would say, if there was a study that backed up Fauci and all that stuff, they would cite it in the International Journal of Preventive Medicine. So it's a legit study. We know the mainstream media refuses to cover this study, obviously. Let's go a little further. So if we can see, if you guys look a little closer here, you can see that they break down the first and second and third jabs and the effects of each one. And you can see the effects on the first dose seem to be pretty severe. And then if you look at the bottom part, these are the different ones. Now they don't spell it out there, but this is the top one, the BNT1. That's the Pfizer dose. The middle one is, I believe, is the Moderna, and then there's the other ones listed below. There's various examples of problems with all of them, but they did do their due diligence of breaking it down for us. So that's that. And then the final conclusion of the study is this: you have this increased risk of all these different cardiovascular problems, from 70% increase. The myocarditis. Now that's the one you guys remember. That's the one they had to admit that there was some myocarditis problems. Because you're looking at a 286% increase. Now, what you guys know, that the mainstream media came up with a narrative to solve the problem of the myocarditis, because that was the biggest problem we saw in young people, particularly young males. And the way they solved that problem was they pretended in a new campaign to market myocarditis as something that is generally a minor condition. It's not that severe generally. And then they had all these doctors going. You guys remember that they went on all the different networks and they said, yeah, this is something that's not really that big of a deal. No, it is. Every diagnosis is a big deal. It changes your life forever. You have to watch your heart rate the rest of your life. You can't play athletics. It's really, really, really bad. And then you look at the next one down, the stroke. After the first dose of any of the vaccines, it's a 240% increase. 240%. So they're saying this is after the first dose. Now, I think that's a little interesting change of events, because I thought from previous studies that we had more information that as you got more and more of them, you would increase risk. But it looks like the biggest increase, and maybe it's because the increase is already there, so we have to kind of look at the statistics of how those work. But it's however you look at it, that first shot is putting you in a new category of how bad your cardiovascular makeup in your body is going to be. This type of increase just the first dose of any of the vaccines, stroke and then arrhythmia, you see that 199% increase. So that's what we're looking at, unfortunately. Now, of course, I'm sure if you turn on CNN right now, you're going to get a more fuller breakdown, since they, an actual network with money to pay their journalists, and they could be doing a lot of this reporting. I mean, we're just doing this out of our home office studio here, but I'm sure CNN and MSNBC and Fox, they're doing a great job of reporting this, because that's what they do. That's what they do. And that's why we don't really need to do this work, because you guys could just turn on. Oh, wait, you can't turn it on because they're not covering this, because they're all paid for by Pfizer and Moderna. Oh man, conflict of interest. That sucks. But hey, that's why we got to do the show. Okay, coming in at number 1 for top censored news of the week, it's Hollywood come true. It seems that the sci-fi stories on the big screen from 20 years ago have come true, and we're living in it right now. Here we go. Number 1 story, the UK is introducing a pre-crime system to target citizens before they commit offenses. What? This sounds like Minority Report, I think. That's the movie I was thinking of. This is the story right here. UK creating murder prediction tool to identify people most likely to kill. And this is from The Guardian. There's algorithms allegedly being used to study the data of thousands of people in project critics say is chilling and dystopian. Yeah, you think it might be a little dystopian? Yes, it is. Okay. The UK government is developing a murder prediction program, which it hopes can use personal data of those known to the authorities to identify the people most likely to become killers in the future. So, okay, so we're going to take your word for it. And if you guys have seen Minority Report, you know that there's a problem when you do something like that. That's the point, is that this is never going to end well. Researchers are alleged to be using algorithms to analyze the information of thousands of people, including victims of crime, as they try to identify those at greatest risk of committing serious violent offenses. The scheme was originally called the Homicide Prediction Project. A little too obvious there. A little too, come on, guys, get a better title, which I guess they did. But its name has been changed to Sharing Data to Improve Risk Assessment. It's always about benefiting the community. We're doing it for you guys to keep you safe. And here it is. The Ministry of Justice hopes the project will help boost public safety. But campaigners have called it chilling and dystopian. Okay, so let's hear the breakdown. Again, I want to introduce this guy, Jens Patur, author, activist. He does a great breakdown of this. Check it out.
The government is developing a murder prediction program using AI to identify those people mostly responsible to become killers. I mean, it's insane. This is straight out of a science fiction movie. Researchers are analyzing the data of thousands of people, even victims, to identify those people that would be most likely to commit serious offenses. The program was first called the Homicide Prediction Project, but they changed the name now since it got out. Maybe it was a little bit too dystopian. If it wouldn't have been for the pressure group Statewatch, who brought it out into the open through freedom of information requests, we wouldn't even have never known about it. And right now they're saying it's for research purposes only, but you know, this is going to get used in the future. This mirrors the movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise, where there is a pre-crime unit arresting people before they even commit a crime.
Yep, that's it. There's Minority Report. You guys, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Or if you need a refresh, I think it's from 2002. So this is very, very old film. But Spielberg's telling us this in the film. This is what's going to happen. And we thought it was just fake at the time. No, this is very real.
In the movie, there is this perfect world where there is no crime because everybody gets arrested before they commit a crime, but it's actually quite dystopian. And what if you get charged with a pre-crime offense and you haven't done even anything wrong? It's no coincidence that this is being shown to us. They show their plans through Hollywood. It's called predictive programming. They want to instill in our minds the seeds of that future so we would more readily accept it on a subconscious level when it becomes reality. We have to remain vigilant about things like this, and we have to keep speaking out against this.
Yeah, go ahead and follow Jens Patur on all those platforms. Really good work there. I like his honest take on this story. So we'll follow him for some more stuff. Now, look, guys, we're looking to see how far this has gone, and obviously they're going to defend it. Like we said, they use the terminology we're used to hearing. We heard it for COVID. We heard it for the Patriot Act and Homeland Security. If you guys have been around as long as we have, not the show, but you guys were paying attention. If you were around in the early 2000s, this is the same language they use to defend any new technology, any new idea that's supposed to keep us safe. It's to use it eventually against the citizens themselves, which is now happening in UK. As far as actual examples of them implementing this yet, we're not seeing them just yet into right now, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you guys just a few months ago. This is the kind of arrests that have been taking place in the UK right now. This technology isn't being used yet. They're still developing it, but they're already making arrests on assumptions of crimes before they're committed. Watch a couple of these. These are, again, the first people are going to be caught, are going to be targeted, are going to be anybody protesting against the state. Those are the first people to go. We see it here, and it's definitely happening in the UK. Check it out.
Everyone is detained at this time.
At the moment, the time is 18:47. Okay, I'm approaching on correct. To infrastructure in the UK. Okay.
I've come here for food.
You don't have to say anything, but it may not be offensive if you're not actually question something which you may find. If you're safe, maybe give it. Okay. Yeah.
So, the grounds are that by taking part in the organisation of this event this evening, I suspect that you are taking part to cause serious destruction to UK airports.
The politicians have failed us. They've failed us with 1.5% explosive degrees explosive safe. Good luck, everybody.
Hi, so my name's Daniel. I'm being arrested. I'm not really sure why. I'm at my parents' house right now. I was just here in London visiting my parents. I think I've been told I'm under arrest for conspiracy to commit a public nuisance. Well, this is what happens when you resist the British state.
Wow. Not a joke, guys. This is really happening. This is really happening. It's only, like I said, it's only going to get worse as the technology gets more advanced, and they can utilize it. And they're going to also use this language. Don't forget this language. Not just to keep us safe. We're only doing it so we can, have the ability to have this information. We use it against our bad guys, against the terrorists. You might remember that. We'll just use it against the bad guys. We're never actually going to use it here. This is just to keep data. And data, we can't really do anything. If we don't want to do it, we won't. So just trust us. We're not going to actually use it. We're just developing it. And we know that never ends well. There's no technology that just gets developed and never gets utilized. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. And so again, it's not just the UK. We're dealing with this stuff too. This preemptive arresting protesters. And now we got these new laws that are going into place right here. I mean, just to add fuel to the fire. You think you're going to get into our country? They're already doing profiling of people and saying we anticipate behavior before it happens, and then we're going to punish you for it. Look at this. This is happening right now. Here, effective immediately. Individuals who engage in anti-Semitic behavior. Well, what is that? Well, whatever you determine, whether online or through physical harassment. Well, physical harassment. Okay. Well, we don't really see any of that, but okay, whatever you say, will be ineligible for U.S. visas or permanent residency. The U.S. will no longer offer immigration benefits to those who promote or participate in anti-Semitism. And again, anti-Semitism is defined by whatever you want to define it by. That's it. And this is from the DHS to begin screening alien social media activity for anti-Semitism. So social media activity is not a crime, but we're saying it's leading to a crime. So then again, even without the technology yet being implemented, they're already getting us used to this language of preemptive punishment. So you're preemptively punishing someone who looks like they might do something in the future. And this is not a right-left issue. This is not a red-blue issue. We all need to be concerned about this because, again, once the technology is existed and it's ready to be implemented, you can be damn sure it's going to be implemented. And as Adam says, he's been really good on this stuff. If you guys follow him on Twitter, he's been great. Criticism of Israel, a foreign nation, now makes you ineligible for U.S. citizenship. Anyone who's criticized Israel over the past year and a half will never be allowed to move to the United States. The First Amendment lasted 249 years until Israel decided otherwise. And make no mistake, Adam is getting onto this. This is the main thing. Israel's in charge. Israel's in charge. We're not. This isn't. You call it the Trump regime. We could call it we can look at the Obama regime. We can look at the Cheney and Bush regime. We say Cheney's name first because he was the Darth Vader. But like we can call these regimes what they are. But Israel is in charge. They are setting this whole thing up to benefit them. It's always to benefit them. It's 7 wars in 5 years, and we're going to get that 7th war. These are the 3 stories you're just not going to see covered on the mainstream media because that's their job, is to not inform us. Our job is to inform you. So luckily, we're here to bring you top censored news of the week.